1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So he intimidates this guy, but you know, the guy has a baby and shit, so he doesn't kill this guy. And he's like, okay, you falsely testified against me, but you know what, I'm gonna let it slide. Just tell me where I can find the next person on the list. So the guy tells him, and then it's like this crooked cop. I saw this movie like a couple days ago. I was gonna make a video like right after I saw it, but then I didn't. So whatever. So I gotta change my position. So anyways, he goes on to the next person who's the first of the crooked cops, and this guy's a pervert. Okay, so he pulls over these two girls, and this was fucking funny and fucked up because it was giving me Cheap Woodenhead vibes a little bit, where it's like he pulls over these two girls. One of them's drunk, but she's in the passenger seat. The sober one is driving, but he gives her a hard time. He's like, oh, you look underage, which I'm not sure if she didn't look underage to me, but I'm a terrible judge of age. I'm always off by about 10 years, so, you know, whatever. He says she looks 15, and then he gives her shit. She doesn't have a license, and then instead of just letting her safely drive her and her friend home, which she seemed like a fine driver, that he says, you know, he goes over to her friend who's totally passed out. He like puts his hand under her skirt, and then he pulls the driver girl out, and he like puts his nightstick under her mini skirt and like flicks it up. So he makes her feel like she's about to be raped, and all this shit. And the crow, it's assumed, was watching all this shit and letting it happen. He's like, no, I'll intervene when it's time, you know. But he fucking let a lot of this shit happen. He could have intervened right away. But no, he let it roll for a little bit. But then when the cop comes back to the passenger seat, he looks in there and the drunk girl is no longer there. It's Alex sitting there. So the cop is like, what the fuck? And then of course Alec gets out and proceeds to whoop his ass. He sends the girls off. He's like, it's between me and him now. And then he whoops his ass. And I don't remember, because there's a car scene. I don't remember if this is the scene with the car or not. I feel like the car is the third one. But then, if that's the case, I don't remember how this guy died. He didn't twist his neck. He might have shot it. No, might have stabbed him. I don't remember. Maybe he is the car one. But anyways, okay, fast forward. He fucks up that guy. Next on the and as this proceeds, you know, he gains clues and all this shit, but I'm not gonna remember all this shit in order, so whatever. So basically, on to the next one. So the next guy I'm gonna say is the one with the car. It might have been the guy I was just talking about, but I don't remember. Because I know in the first Crow movie there is a guy with a car. And I don't know exactly how that scene plays out. I just know something happens with a car. So he takes this guy. There's this guy who has one of the cops has a car, and he takes it on this joyride. And the joyride goes all around town. I thought he was just going to drive him for a little bit and drive him into a wall or something like that. But he joyrides all around town. It's awesome because it turns into this big old chase. And it's like, all right, rock and roll. This movie's awesome. And then he drives him all around. And then he winds up hitting the brakes, I think, and both of them go flying through the windshield. But he has healing powers. That's something I forgot to mention. He realized he has healing power. Well, honestly, I think his first realization that he has healing powers is when he ripped his fucking face off. But then his real realization he has healing powers is that when he was in the police station, he very emo-ly, for no reason, or maybe the Crow told him to, I don't know. Because the Crow is obviously communicating some things to him, but it's like R2-D2-ish, like, it's just, I mean, not even, because R2-D2 actually makes sounds, but this Crow is just silent, and then it's just inferred that it's, like, talking to him by how he responds, you know, and stuff. But basically, there was one of those, like, you know, those stabby things where you put papers on and stuff, like, in the police station, and he just slams his hand down on it, like the Ashton Kutcher in The Butterfly Effect. But when he did it, it actually had a reason, because he wanted to give himself a mark that was going to translate through time, that he could use to prove to somebody else, so it was worth it. But when Alex does it, it's just like oh, I want to feel pain. He just slams his hand down on it for no reason. But then he's happy because it instantly heals. So, which I think is, I know the first movie Crow, he can't be hurt, but I don't know, does he heal, or is he just full of holes? Like, does he not heal, but he also doesn't get hurt? I'm not sure about that one. But, anyways, so, yeah, he goes on this joyride, he hits the brakes, both of them go flying through the windshield. You should always wear a seatbelt. And the cop gets sliced up through the windshield, he falls on the ground, he's all bloody, but, you know, Alex is fine. And then they show him, they show, you know, gasoline leaking out of the car, and they really focus on the fact that he grabbed a spark plug. I'm assuming it's a spark plug because of the name. I don't know car parts, but I'm just assuming that's what it is, because he pulls it out of the car, he holds it up to the camera like this, and all the other cops that are rushing over to come get him, and he's like, you see it? He does this for a long ass time for what it is. Like, they could have showed it quickly, but, like, you know what's going on, but it's like, okay, we understand that you're gonna light a fire with this thing, you know? And he drops it into the gasoline, and it fucking starts a fire. But the funny fucking thing is that, like, I knew the car was gonna blow up, but he blows up, like, the whole background, and then I think there was, like, because I think there's, like, a bunch of junked cars or something, if I remember, and then, like, it blows up, like, the car behind it, the car to the side of it, it's like a chain reaction of blowing up. It's like that movie Laser Blast. Like, it's just so many explosions, and I love the fact that they did the cheesy-ass corny thing of him, like, walking away from the explosion, because I know, like, to me, it's like that trope is, like, at first, when movies first did that, it was probably, like, hella cool, right? Then it probably reached a point where people, like, within my lifetime, like, when I was a teenager in early 20s, it's kind of like, only comedies do this now, because it's so fucking stupid. Like, we all know this is dumb. But now, at this point, I feel like it's turned the tide again, where it's like, life sucks, let's have some fun. I want to walk away from an explosion in slow motion, hell yeah. And the other thing, which I've been dying to talk about in this video, which I've been planning to talk about, is that you see in slow motion, kinda, Alex pull this piece of clothes out of the passenger side door of the cop car, or is it a car or a cop car? Whatever. He pulls out this article of clothing, and they make you see it. And I thought at first that it was a police uniform, and I was like, if this boy gets into a cop uniform to kind of blend in with the other, I assumed it was going to be a trick where, you know, the other officers see him from the back, and for a second they think he's another cop, and then he turns around and he's like, boo bitch, I'm the Crow, something like that. But it's not like that. I was ready to see, if I see a goth boy with full goth makeup, like, and a cop uniform, it's over. As my history teacher from last semester said, put a fork in me, I'm done. That would have been everything. But no, it's almost as good, because it's not a police uniform he pulls out. It turns out to be a long sweater, which is weird, because it's not something that I would see this bad guy really wearing, but it's implied that it's his clothing, right? Because it was in his car. Maybe it's his wife's clothes, I don't know what it is. But basically, it's just this long sweater that goes down like a trench coat, and has, like, this, like, fluffy, like, fake fur kind of stuff around this. So he looks like a little pimp almost. Like, it's really funny. Or, like, it's like a little Cruella de Vil, like, jacket, or not. It's not even a jacket. This is not a leather trench coat or something. This is a long sweater with, like, old lady fluff around here. But I liked it. It works. Oh, and I forgot to say something. Alex's clothes that he has at first is a jumpsuit, like a boiler suit, like how Michael Myers wears, because that was what he wore when he was in the electric chair. So he's pretty well dressed, I would say. I liked it. So what happens next? Now is the part where I'm going to start forgetting things, because the movie crams in a lot. Like, I forgot how long I don't think this movie is any more than 2 hours, or even, like, It's a regular movie length, you know. It's not like they were doing the long ass movies back then. But like especially a made for TV-esque looking movie like this. But this movie's pretty packed with storyline, and they handle it pretty good. Like I said, there's not a lot of loose threads. Like, I mean, yeah, it's not believable, but it doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. It's like, don't worry about your story being non-believable. Just go for it, explain, and tell the full story. Don't leave holes, and people will be pretty cool with it, I think, you know? Or at least I was. So basically, they show this like strip club where in the like attic or the back room or something like that, they have these webcams, which is funny because another thing, I was watching Fear.com recently, like in the last couple weeks, and Fear.com, I'm pretty sure, is from 2002, and they have a completely modern depiction of the Red Room. Like the Red Room, which is so famous now and used in all these like ARGs and horror like web series, and like just it's so tropey now, right? The stereotypical Red Room where, you know, the person being tortured is live streamed, and you know, you have like the counting meter going up of how many likes you're getting, and you know, stuff like that, and people voting on what they want or whatever. This one, well, Fear.com, they don't have voting, but they did have like a like meter. Like they show you like numbers like going up, and I'm like, this is 2002. It's kind of curious to me. Like, I wouldn't, like, I feel like there has to be a movie that's older than that has a modern depiction of a Red Room like that. But because obviously snuff films go all the way back, but I'm talking about like our modern depiction, like a Red Room movie that would come out today. You know, this is what they had in Fear.com. So anyways, basically they have the same thing in the back of this strip joint, but it's not. And apparently the strip club, because it's run by crooked cops, every night is precinct night, because all the strippers, they have like gun belts on and they have cop hats, you know. They show you these big bare titties, so if you like titties, you got it, you know, because this is, you know, The Crow is, the whole series is known for its sexiness, you know, and it's nice that they let you have, you know, sexiness for everybody. Okay, I gotta go to the bathroom, man. One sec.